Have you ever felt like your grocery bill keeps getting higher, yet every week you still end up throwing a few things away? A bag of wilted greens in the fridge, a few bananas that got too ripe, a carton of milk past its expiration date. Those small amounts may not seem like much, but over time they can add up to hundreds of dollars wasted every year. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, about 30 to 40% of the food supply in the United States is never eaten. A significant portion of that happens right at home, when food is bought, but never fully used. The good news is, you don't have to buy less to save money. You just need to know which foods are truly worth buying and which ones are quietly costing you money, without giving you much value in return. In today's video, we'll rank the 21 best foods to buy every week, based on nutritional value, cost per serving, shelf life, and how well they help reduce food waste. Some of these foods are incredibly familiar, yet they've been underestimated for years. And by the end of this video, there's a good chance you'll look at your shopping cart in a completely different way. Let's start with number 21. Number 21. Extra virgin olive oil, the more expensive bottle on the shelf that can save you. More all week. You're standing in front of the cooking oil aisle, holding a bottle of vegetable oil for under $5 in one hand, and a bottle of extra virgin olive oil that costs nearly 3 times as much in the other. If you only look at the price tag, the choice seems obvious. But the grocery store only shows you the price of one bottle. It doesn't help you figure out how many other products that bottle can replace in your kitchen. Extra virgin olive oil isn't just for heating up a pan. You can use it to sauté vegetables, sear meat, marinate fish, or mix it with lemon and garlic to make a salad dressing. One good bottle can help you skip separate frying oil, bottled salad dressing, and many kinds of pre-made marinades. What makes it especially interesting is a compound called oleocanthal, which researchers have studied for its natural anti-inflammatory properties. In the pre-dimmed study, a Mediterranean diet supplemented with extra virgin olive oil was associated with about a 30% lower risk of major cardiovascular events among people at high risk. A 1-liter bottle provides about 67 tablespoons. At around $14, each serving costs only about 20 cents. Choose a bottle made of dark glass, keep it away from heat, and put the cap back on right after using it. Smart shoppers don't always choose the cheapest item. They choose the one that can do the most jobs. And to get the most value out of that bottle of oil, you need an inexpensive ingredient that can build the foundation of flavor for almost every meal. Number 20. Onion. The ingredient that costs just cents but can save an entire dinner. You open the refrigerator at the end of the week, and all that's left is a little meat, a few carrots, and a container of leftover rice. That's usually when a lot of people open a food delivery app. But all it takes is one onion in the pan, and suddenly the kitchen smells like you've been cooking dinner for hours. An onion isn't just a supporting ingredient. It's what makes ordinary foods taste worth eating. When cooked slowly, its natural sugars gradually caramelize, creating sweetness and depth that bottled sauces try to imitate with sugar, salt, and flavor enhancers. A bag of yellow onions that costs just a few dollars can be used for dozens of meals. Soups, stews, eggs, fried rice, pasta, or pan-seared meat. It's also one of the easiest ways to stretch expensive ingredients. Instead of cooking a pan that's almost all meat, you can add sliced onions to increase the volume, boost the flavor, and lower the cost per serving. Onions also provide quercetin and other plant compounds with antioxidant properties. But their biggest real-world benefit is still that they help you cook better without relying on $4 to $6 jars of sauce. Store onions in a cool, dark, well-ventilated place. Don't keep them in sealed plastic bags or right next to potatoes, because moisture and the gases they release can cause both to spoil faster. The most budget-friendly kitchens aren't short on flavor. They simply know how to use simple ingredients the right way. And the most powerful partner for an onion is the next item on our list. A tiny clove that costs just a few cents, but has to be handled the right way to unlock its full value. Number 19. Garlic. A clove that costs just cents but only works. If you know how to wait, the smell of garlic hits the pan and instantly fills the kitchen. It sounds perfect, but if you mince the garlic and throw it straight into hot oil, you may have missed its most valuable benefit before it even had a chance to develop. Garlic contains two natural components that are kept separate inside each clove. They only come together after you crush or mince the garlic, creating allicin, a compound widely studied for its potential to support circulation, blood pressure, and the immune system. But that reaction takes time. A simple trick is to let the minced garlic sit on the cutting board for about 10 minutes before adding it to the pan. That short wait helps your body benefit from more allicin instead of having the heat destroy the enzyme too early. Interestingly, many traditional home cooks have been doing this for generations. They often prepare the garlic first, then chop the vegetables or get the meat ready. They may not have known the name allicin, but generations of experience pointed them in the same direction that modern science now explains. A whole head of garlic usually costs only about 30 to 50 cents and gives you around 10 cloves. That means each clove costs just a few cents. Yet it can elevate eggs, vegetables, rice, soup, or meat, while offering more health value than many expensive supplements. Buy whole garlic bulbs and store them in a dry, well-ventilated place, instead of relying on jarred, minced garlic. Sometimes the most useful supplement isn't in a bottle. It's sitting right on your cutting board. You just have to give it 10 more minutes. Number 18. White rice. The few cent food that can stretch. Almost any meal. You only have 2 eggs, 1 can of beans, and 4 people who need dinner. On their own, those ingredients don't seem like enough. But add a few cups of rice to the pot, and suddenly those separate ingredients become a full meal for the whole family. That's the real value of white rice. It's more than just rice. It's what stretches meat, eggs, vegetables, beans, and just about everything else in your kitchen. A 20-pound bag of rice can make around 300 servings, bringing the cost per serving down to just a few cents. Very few foods can provide that much energy for so little money. Rice also has one advantage that many trendy foods simply can't match: long-term storage. When sealed in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and stored inside a protective container in a cool, dry place, white rice can maintain its quality for about 30 years. A bag of rice left on the kitchen shelf won't naturally last that long. The packaging is what makes the difference. For everyday meals, pair rice with beans, vegetables, or a small amount of protein. This helps you stay full longer, use less meat, and still end up with a satisfying plate. A little stir-fried chicken may only be enough for one person, but served with rice and vegetables, it can become dinner for the whole family. No one feels rich because they bought a bag of rice. But a lot of families have made it through difficult months simply because they always had a bag of rice ready at home. And the next food on our list adds what rice lacks most: protein, fiber, and long-lasting fullness, while still keeping the cost incredibly low. Number 17. Dry beans. The cheapest source of protein that too many people overlook. A lot of people walk right past the dried bean aisle without even stopping. They grab a few cans of beans because they seem more convenient, then keep buying extra meat to make the meal feel complete. What they don't realize is that they just paid extra for something they can't eat. water. A can of beans is often nearly half water and metal packaging by weight. When you buy dried beans, almost every dollar you spend goes toward the food itself. After just a few hours of soaking and cooking, 1 pound of dried beans expands into multiple servings packed with protein and fiber. Enough for soups, stews, chili, or meals with rice over several days. Beans are also one of the best sources of protein when you look at cost per dollar. Along with plant protein, they provide fiber that helps you stay full longer and supports healthy cholesterol levels. When paired with rice, beans create a complete protein that has fed millions of families around the world for generations. If you like to prepare ahead, dried beans are also a dependable choice. Just keep them in an airtight container in a dry place, and they can last for years while remaining perfectly usable. Don't think of it as buying a bag of beans. You're buying dozens of meals for the cost of just a few servings of meat. And now that we've covered an affordable source of protein, let's move on to the breakfast that delivers the most value for every dollar you spend. Number 16. Oats. The best value. Breakfast you can make in just minutes. Morning is when a lot of people end up spending the most money without realizing it. A box of sugary cereal, a couple of pastries, or a fast food breakfast on the way to work can leave you hungry again, just an hour or two later. Meanwhile, sitting right on the shelf below is a simple food that many people overlook. Oats. A serving of traditional oats usually costs only about 13 cents. Yet it gives you a breakfast that keeps you full longer thanks to its natural soluble fiber. This fiber, known as beta-glucan, has been widely studied for its ability to help lower LDL cholesterol when combined with a balanced diet and a healthy lifestyle. What's even better is how versatile oats are. You can cook them with milk, add bananas, apples, cinnamon, or a spoonful of peanut butter to create a breakfast that's both budget-friendly and filling for hours. With just a few minutes of preparation, you have a meal that costs far less than most ready-made breakfast options. Choose rolled oats or steel-cut oats instead of the instant packets loaded with sugar. They're less expensive, less processed, and make it much easier to control how much added sugar you're eating. The best breakfast isn't always the most expensive one. Sometimes, a meal that costs just over 10 cents turns out to be the smartest investment for both your health and your budget. And the next food will prove that a familiar item in your refrigerator can deliver far more value than its price suggests. Number 15. Eggs. One of the closest things to a perfect food that nature has created. There's a reason eggs show up on almost every healthy food list in the world. It's not because they're inexpensive. It's because very few foods can deliver this much nutrition in such a small serving. With just 2 eggs, you get a complete protein containing all 9 essential amino acids that your body can't produce on its own. You also get vitamin B12, vitamin D, selenium, and especially choline, a nutrient that plays an important role in memory, nerve function, and liver health. What's surprising is that many nutrition surveys show about 90% of adults in the United States don't get enough choline each day. Meanwhile, just 2 eggs provide a significant portion of what your body needs. They're one of the few foods that are both high in protein and naturally rich in choline in a form that's highly absorbable. Eggs are also incredibly versatile. Whether they're boiled, fried, scrambled, or paired with vegetables, oats, or rice, they make a balanced meal without requiring a lot of expensive ingredients. They also provide protein at a much lower cost than many kinds of meat. A perfect food isn't one that contains every nutrient. It's one that delivers the most value in a simple serving. And if eggs are nature's complete source of protein, the next food is one of the most concentrated sources of energy you can find in a single jar. Number 14. Peanut butter. One small jar packed with protein, healthy fat, and energy. If the power goes out for hours, the roads are blocked by a storm, or you simply don't have time to cook, there's one food that's ready to provide energy the moment you open the lid. Peanut butter. For only about 15 cents a serving, you get around 8 grams of protein along with healthy fats that help your body stay energized much longer than sugary foods. There's no cooking required, no need for refrigeration right after opening over the short term, and no need for a long list of extra ingredients. That's why peanut butter is always on the emergency pantry list for so many families. A slice of bread, a few apple slices, some crackers, or even just a spoon is enough to make a quick meal when life gets busy or cooking simply isn't an option. However, choose a variety made with only peanuts and a small amount of salt. Many inexpensive products add sugar, hydrogenated oils, and flavorings to extend shelf life, but they also reduce the nutritional value. A jar of peanut butter isn't just something to spread on bread. It's a concentrated source of protein, healthy fat, and energy in a product that costs very little per serving. And once you have this dependable source of energy, the next food adds the kind of protein that almost every family buys every week. Yet very few people know how to choose in the way that saves the most money. Number 13. Chicken thighs. Smart shoppers don't always choose. Chicken breast. Standing at the meat counter, a lot of people automatically reach for chicken breast. They believe it's always the best choice because it has more protein and less fat. But if your goal is to eat better while spending less money, the best value is usually sitting right next to it. Chicken thighs. At many grocery stores, chicken thighs cost about half as much as chicken breast. Not only are they less expensive, but they also contain more connective tissue and a moderate amount of natural fat, which helps keep the meat tender, juicy, and much harder to dry out while cooking. That means you're far less likely to ruin dinner just because it stayed in the pan a few minutes too long. The biggest value comes from something many people throw away: the bones. After the meal, you can save every bone and simmer them with onions, carrots, and celery to make a flavorful broth for soups, stews, or rice. One purchase can give you 2 meals instead of 1. That's how budget-conscious home cooks look at food. They don't just calculate the price per pound of meat. They calculate how many meals one purchase can provide for the family. Don't just buy the best-looking cut on the tray. Buy the one that gives you the most value after you bring it home. And if chicken thighs are one of the best values in fresh protein, the next food proves that a small can deliver an impressive amount of protein for just over $1. Number 12. Canned tuna. A small can packed with more protein than most people expect. There are days when you don't feel like cooking. There are days when the refrigerator is almost empty. And there are times when a storm or a power outage makes preparing a meal more difficult than usual. That's when a can of tuna often becomes far more valuable than its simple appearance suggests. A typical can of tuna provides about 25 grams of protein for only around $1.50. Tuna is also a natural source of omega-3 fatty acids, nutrients known for supporting heart and brain health. For adults over 50, it's one of the most convenient and cost-effective sources of protein you can buy. What makes canned tuna special isn't just its nutrition. It's almost always ready whenever you need it. There's nothing to thaw, nothing to prep, and it can be paired with salad, bread, rice, or pasta in just a few minutes. That simplicity helps many families cut back on ordering takeout when they're too busy or too tired to cook. When shopping, choose tuna packed in water or olive oil, depending on your preference. And always check the expiration date and make sure the can is still in good condition. A can of tuna isn't just emergency pantry food. It's a high-protein meal waiting for you on the shelf. And the next food takes us to a group of vegetables that helps every dollar you spend turn into more meals, while still delivering excellent nutritional value. Number 11. Frozen vegetables. Don't buy vegetables just to throw them away. A lot of people walk into the grocery store planning to eat healthier. They fill their cart with fresh vegetables, bring them home, put them in the refrigerator, and tell themselves they'll cook them over the weekend. But a few days later, when they open the fridge, the vegetables are wilted, soggy, or discolored. In the end, you don't just lose a meal, you lose the money you spent buying it. That's why many nutrition experts no longer automatically recommend buying as many fresh vegetables as possible. In many cases, frozen vegetables are actually the smarter choice. Contrary to popular belief, vegetables are often frozen just a few hours after they're harvested, when their vitamin content is still very high. Fresh vegetables, on the other hand, may spend days being transported, displayed in the store, and sitting in your refrigerator before they're finally used. That's when some of their nutrients gradually begin to decline. More importantly, you only use exactly what you need. The rest stays safely in the freezer instead of ending up in the trash. That helps reduce food waste, one of the biggest hidden expenses for many households. Don't judge vegetables by how fresh they look on the shelf. Judge them by how much nutrition is left when they actually reach your dinner plate. Saving money isn't just about buying something cheaper. It's about buying something you know you'll actually use. And if there's one vegetable that holds its value even longer than frozen vegetables, it's the next one on our list. Number 10. Cabbage. The ordinary vegetable that lasts longer than almost any other. If you asked our grandparents which vegetable they would store the longest without a freezer, a lot of them would probably give the same answer. Cabbage. Not because it's expensive or packed with some rare vitamin, but because very few vegetables are this inexpensive, this versatile, and this durable. A whole head of cabbage can last about 2 months when stored properly in a cool, dry place. During that time, you can use it little by little for salads, stir-fries, soups, stews, or alongside just about every protein on this list. You simply cut off what you need, while the rest keeps waiting in the refrigerator instead of wilting quickly like many leafy vegetables. That's also why cabbage became a staple in families that always prioritized saving money. One head of cabbage can show up in many different meals without making the menu feel repetitive, while also helping stretch meat and other expensive ingredients. Don't let its simple appearance fool you. In the kitchen, value isn't found in the food that makes the biggest impression. It's found in the food that's always there when you need it. Some foods help you spend less money over the course of a week. Others help keep you from making another trip to the grocery store too soon. Cabbage belongs in the second group. And the next food will prove that sometimes the least expensive vegetable can also be one of the most versatile ingredients in your entire kitchen. Number 9. Carrots. The inexpensive vegetable that does more than you think. If you could keep only one vegetable in your kitchen for the entire week, a lot of home cooks wouldn't choose lettuce or broccoli. They'd choose carrots. Not because they're the most exciting, but because very few vegetables can do so many jobs for so little money. You can eat them raw as a snack, shred them into salads, cook them in soup, simmer them with meat, stir-fry them with other vegetables, or simply roast them in the oven. Just one bag of carrots can show up in a variety of meals without ever feeling repetitive. What makes carrots special isn't just their versatility. Their orange color comes from beta-carotene, a compound your body can convert into vitamin A when it needs it. Vitamin A plays an important role in vision, immune function, and skin health. Simply including carrots regularly as part of a balanced diet gives you another natural source of nutrition at a very low cost. Another advantage is that carrots keep well in the refrigerator when stored dry and left whole. That means you don't have to rush to use them the way you do with many leafy vegetables that wilt after just a few days. Some foods are famous because they're expensive. Carrots are famous because of their value. They don't try to be the main ingredient in a meal, but they make almost every meal taste better, feel more complete, and become more nutritious. The next food plays a similar role, except it comes in a can that can wait for you on the shelf for months. Number 8. Canned tomatoes. One of the best canned foods you can buy at the grocery store. Not many canned foods can be both more convenient and more nutritious than their fresh counterparts. But canned tomatoes are one of those rare exceptions. What makes them different is lycopene, the antioxidant responsible for tomatoes' rich red color. When tomatoes are cooked during processing, your body absorbs lycopene much more efficiently than it does from raw tomatoes. Some studies have shown that the amount of lycopene your body can use increases by about 3 to 4 times after cooking. That's why so many home cooks always keep a few cans of tomatoes in the pantry. Just open one, and you instantly have the base for pasta sauce, soup, chili, stews, or slow-cooked meals without worrying that fresh tomatoes will spoil before you get around to using them. When it comes to value, canned tomatoes are also one of the smartest buys in the canned food aisle. You get consistent flavor all year long, regardless of the season, while greatly reducing the chance of throwing away overripe fresh tomatoes from your refrigerator. A can of tomatoes doesn't just help you cook faster. It helps you maintain the quality of your meals even when food prices rise or seasonal supplies change. That's why so many kitchens always keep at least a few cans on the shelf. And the next food takes us to an ingredient that has nourished people for thousands of years and still hasn't lost its value. Number 7. Potatoes. The most misunderstood food in the grocery store. Potatoes are often the first thing people take out of their shopping cart when they decide to eat healthier. Many see them as a bad carb and assume the less they eat, the better. But in reality, what gives potatoes such an unfair reputation isn't the potato itself. The problem usually comes from how we prepare them. Deep-fried French fries covered in cheese or served with high-calorie sauces are completely different from a boiled or baked potato with the skin on. When prepared simply, potatoes are one of the most filling foods you can eat. That's why many studies on satiety have ranked boiled potatoes among the very best, helping you stay full longer and reducing the urge to snack after a meal. Beyond keeping you full, one medium potato provides about 620 milligrams of potassium, more than a banana. Potassium plays an important role in supporting muscle and nerve function and helps maintain healthy blood pressure when combined with a balanced diet. Potatoes are also incredibly budget-friendly. You can bake them, boil them, mash them, turn them into soup, or pair them with eggs, meat, and vegetables to create a wide variety of meals without spending much money. Don't judge potatoes by the fries served at a fast food restaurant. Judge them by their nutritional value and their ability to keep you full for very little cost. Sometimes the most misunderstood food is the one most worth keeping in your kitchen. Number 6. Bananas. The least expensive snack with value far beyond its price. There are times when hunger hits in the middle of the afternoon, and the quickest choice is usually cookies, potato chips, or a sugary candy bar. They give you a quick burst of energy, but the hunger usually comes back just as fast. Meanwhile, right there in the produce section is a much simpler option. Bananas. For just a few cents, you get a natural snack packed with carbohydrates, fiber, and about 422 milligrams of potassium in every medium banana. Potassium is an important mineral that supports muscle and nerve function, making it especially beneficial for people who stay active or older adults looking to maintain heart health. What many people don't take advantage of is that bananas can be frozen as they begin to ripen. Simply peel them, cut them into pieces, and place them in a sealed bag before putting them in the freezer. Later, you can use them in smoothies, make banana ice cream, or stir them into oatmeal without worrying about the fruit going bad. It's also a highly effective way to reduce food waste. Instead of watching bananas turn brown and throwing them in the trash, you can extend their usable life by several weeks while keeping their flavor and most of their nutritional value. A banana isn't just a snack between meals. It's one of the least expensive investments you can make in energy, nutrition, and convenience at any grocery store. Number 5. Whole wheat bread. Don't buy brown bread. Buy real whole wheat bread. 2 loaves of bread sit side by side on the same shelf. Both are brown, and both are marketed as healthy. Most people assume they're the same, but all you have to do is turn the package over and read the ingredient list, and you'll see that the difference can begin with the very first line. That's also the tip nutrition experts keep repeating. Don't judge the color of the bread. Look at the first ingredient. If the first ingredient says whole wheat flour or whole grain, whole wheat, you're buying real whole wheat bread. On the other hand, if the first ingredient is simply enriched wheat flour or wheat flour, it's still made primarily with refined flour, even if the loaf is colored brown with molasses or caramel. The difference isn't just in the name. Whole wheat bread retains more natural fiber, helping you stay full longer and slowing the rise in blood sugar after a meal. That's especially helpful for people trying to manage their weight or maintain steady energy throughout the morning. You don't have to buy the most expensive loaf either. Just spend 10 extra seconds reading the ingredient list, and you can avoid paying for a product that looks healthy, but isn't much different from white bread. Shopping smart isn't about choosing the nicest looking package. It's about knowing which line is worth reading first. And the next food is something millions of people drink every day, but often underestimate its true value. Number 4. Milk. 1 glass. Today could be an investment for years to come. When we're young, very few of us think about bone health. We usually don't start paying attention until getting up from a chair becomes harder than it used to be. Our knees ache after a short walk, or a doctor starts talking about the risk of osteoporosis. That's why milk remains one of the most worthwhile foods to include in many families' diets. A glass of milk doesn't just provide calcium. It also delivers high-quality protein and vitamin D, a combination of nutrients that work together to help maintain strong bones and muscles. Protein helps preserve muscle mass as we age, while vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium more effectively. What's worth noting is that an estimated 54 million Americans either have or are at risk for low bone mass and osteoporosis. That number shows that taking care of your bones isn't something to think about only after retirement. It should start with the small choices you make at every meal. If you don't finish your milk right away, you can also use it to make oatmeal, blend smoothies, add it to coffee, or cook soups and sauces. That helps you use almost the entire carton instead of letting it expire in the refrigerator. 1 glass of milk won't change your health overnight, but small habits, repeated over many years, are what make the real difference. And the final 3 foods on our list deliver the highest value for every dollar you spend. Number 3. Butter. A food that's more misunderstood than it is to blame for years. Butter was treated like the villain at the dinner table. Just hearing the words saturated fat was enough for many people to take it out of their shopping cart. But nutrition isn't as simple as dividing foods into good and bad. Real butter, when used in moderation as part of a balanced diet, still provides several valuable nutrients. One of them is vitamin K2, which helps direct calcium to the places where the body needs it most, especially the bones and teeth. It's also a nutrient that many people don't get enough of from their everyday diet. Another reason butter is worth buying is its ability to be stored for a long time. If you find it on sale, you can buy extra and freeze it for months with almost no loss in quality. That lets you take advantage of lower prices instead of paying more later. The important thing is to choose real butter and use it in the right amount. Food shouldn't be judged by a single headline on the internet. Its true value always depends on how we use it. Number 2. Whole wheat pasta, an emergency dinner that costs just a few cents. There are nights when you open the refrigerator and there's almost nothing left to cook. But as long as you still have a box of whole wheat pasta, a can of tomatoes, and a few seasonings, the whole family can still sit down to a hot meal. That's why whole wheat pasta always deserves a place in your pantry. A box usually costs only about 40 cents per serving and can feed up to 4 people when paired with vegetables, beans, or a little meat. It stretches more expensive ingredients while still making the meal satisfying and complete. Unlike many fresh foods, whole wheat pasta can be stored for about 2 years when kept in a cool, dry place. You don't need electricity, you don't need a freezer, and you don't have to worry about using it within just a few days. A well-stocked pantry isn't one that's filled with the most expensive foods. It's one that can always turn out a complete dinner in just a few minutes when life suddenly becomes more difficult. Number 1. Raw honey. A food that doesn't just nourish the body, but also brings peace of mind. If I had to choose one food that represents smart preparation, I wouldn't choose the most expensive one or the one with the most protein. I'd choose raw honey. Not just because it's one of the very few foods that almost never spoils when stored properly, but because its value changes with the situation. A spoonful of honey can provide a quick source of energy when you're feeling tired. It can soothe a sore throat, add natural sweetness to tea or oatmeal, become a staple ingredient in your everyday kitchen, and still sit quietly on the shelf for years until the day you need it. There's one thing I hope you'll remember after watching this entire list. Preparation doesn't begin when the grocery store shelves are empty. It begins with the ordinary shopping trip you make today. You don't have to buy all 21 foods at once. Just add one truly worthwhile food to your cart each week and replace one choice that's been quietly wasting your money. Over time, you'll build more than just a better stocked kitchen. You'll gain the peace of mind that comes from knowing your family is always ready for the unexpected. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone you care about, and let me know in the comments. What's the one food that's always in your kitchen?